Caitlin Clark had been nothing short of revolutionary for the WNBA. Her incredible rookie season broke viewership records, filled arenas, and brought the Women's National Basketball Association into the spotlight of the mainstream in a way that had never been seen before. Nevertheless, things started to go from bad to worse for the league almost immediately after Clark was eliminated from the playoffs. After a season that was once full of anticipation and excitement, it quickly turned into a season that was filled with empty seats and ratings that were falling. Caitlin Clark was the driving force behind the WNBA's momentum, and now the league is coming to terms with how much they relied on her to do so. By removing Clark from the playoffs, the WNBA not only lost a player, but they also lost the very thing that was keeping the league relevant.
Zero time in the shields. That's the first personal, first team foul.
However, the reality has been very different from what the WNBA had anticipated, which was that they would be able to survive without Caitlin Clark dominating the spotlight. Almost immediately after her departure, the number of viewers dropped dramatically. This season's playoff games, which were supposed to be the most exciting part of the season, turned out to be a snooze fest, with fans tuning out and leaving arenas with only half of their seats occupied. The league was riding high on the Caitlin Clark effect, but now that she has left, they are confronted with the harsh reality that a significant portion of their success was directly tied to her performances. It seems that nobody is talking about the playoffs for the WNBA anymore. The league is having a hard time regaining the excitement that Caitlin Clark used to bring to the table, and it is almost as if the championship games do not even exist.
She did in 5 weeks what would have taken 5 years. And as it pertains to draft viewership, she did in 5 days.
The number of people watching the WNBA has decreased by more than 50% since Clark left the league. There has been a complete lack of excitement surrounding the finals, and the ratings have been terrible. Previously, this event was highly anticipated, but now it has become a forgettable series with empty seats and fans who are not interested in the event. It is not enough to simply lose a star player. It is also necessary to suffer the loss of the player who was responsible for bringing fans back to the league. There was a draw for Clark. Because of her, people tuned in. And now that she is no longer there, the Women's National Basketball Association is left trying to figure out how to pick up the pieces.
Do you want me to just say I told you so, or are you willing to say, Stephen A., you did tell us?
The WNBA is solely responsible for the current predicament that they find themselves in. The fact that they allowed Caitlin Clark to be targeted on the court through aggressive fouling and unnecessary physical play was something that they did from the very beginning. Instead of taking measures to protect their most prominent star, they chose to look the other way, and now they are paying the price. Not only did viewers tune in to watch Caitlin Clark perform, but they also watched in disbelief as she was subjected to harsh treatment game after game. It is possible that things would have turned out differently if the league had intervened to protect her. However, now that Clark has left the league, the Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, is left with a product that is unimpressive and a fan base that is decreasing.
Believe me, I've coached the best, but they were tremendously disrespected. But human nature is, okay, this kid's coming into the league.
Actually, Caitlin Clark improved the Women's National Basketball Association in ways that no one could have anticipated. The power of her stardom extended beyond the confines of the game itself, attracting supporters from all over the nation. The failure of the league to capitalize on her popularity, however, is now the cause of their eventual demise. Because of her departure, the ratings and attendance have both plummeted, and the excitement that was previously associated with the playoffs has completely dissipated. In the absence of Clark, the WNBA is struggling to maintain its current level of success. However, it turns out that Caitlin Clark was the foundation, and without her, the entire system is falling apart. The Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, placed their bets on the infrastructure of the league to carry them through the playoffs.
So yes, the WNBA was growing before Caitlin Clark. Make that abundantly clear. But it was growing incrementally compared to the exponential growth you're seeing now.
All areas of the Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, have been affected by the absence of Caitlin Clark. The finals, which were supposed to be the most exciting part of the season, have not been able to generate any significant interest from participants. As a result of fans tuning out, arenas are becoming noticeably less crowded. In the absence of Clark's magnetic presence on the court, the league has lost its capacity to attract the most attention. In the manner in which fans have responded to the games that are still to come, it is painfully obvious that the excitement that she brought is no longer present. The Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, is currently looking for a way to fill the void that she has left behind. The damage, however, has already been done, and it may be too late for them to regain the audience that they have lost.
Game 1 of the Aces Liberty matchup on Sunday drew an average of 929,000 viewers. Was down nearly 50% from last Sunday's Fever Sun contest.
Additionally, Caitlin Clark altered people's perceptions of the Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA. The league reaped the benefits of her popularity, which resulted in her performances being mandatory viewing on television. It is now abundantly clear how much the Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, relied on her. As a result of Clark's absence, the league has reverted to being a specialized product, and it is increasingly difficult to garner the attention of the general public that it had briefly enjoyed. The reality is straightforward. The Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, is once again irrelevant because it does not have a star like Caitlin Clark, and this is reflected in plummeting ratings and empty seats.
All of this comes together, and you need a star, and she is the star.
As the Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, works hard to recover from the loss of Caitlin Clark, she appears to be doing just fine. Despite the fact that her legacy in the WNBA is already established, her future looks promising. It's possible that the league will deeply regret the way they dealt with her, but for Clark, there's no turning back. Even though she is taking a break from the spotlight, her name will continue to dominate conversations because she has demonstrated that she is one of the most valuable players in the league. On the other hand, the Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, is left to deal with the aftermath. Their failure to protect and elevate Clark when they had the opportunity has resulted in a disaster, and now they need to figure out a way to recover from the empty seats and disappointing ratings that can be attributed to their failure.
She's an incredible basketball player. I think I can say that she's great, and I can say that there are 143 women that helped get the league to this place, that she could take it over the top.
The statistical data tells the story. In addition to attracting a large number of fans to the Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, Caitlin Clark's games were the most exciting of the season. Following her departure, the league has reverted to its previous state, with a decrease in the number of viewers and a decrease in the amount of excitement surrounding the games. In stark contrast to the excitement that Clark generated, it is abundantly clear that the Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, will have a difficult time regaining that level of engagement without her. The departure of Clark has brought to light the league's reliance on her, and as the Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, is confronted with an uncertain future, they will have to come to terms with the fact that their most prominent star is no longer present to carry the weight. Caitlin Clark was the driving force behind the success that the Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, experienced this season, and without her, they are struggling to remain relevant. As the WNBA moves forward, they will have to face the harsh reality. The league appears to have taken Clark's presence for granted, as evidenced by the fact that the seats were empty, the ratings were terrible, and there was a lack of excitement. Now is the time for them to figure out how to rebuild, but it won't be easy because they won't have their most prominent player. The Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, has been forced to face a harsh reality as a result of Caitlin Clark's departure. Star power is the primary factor that drives viewership, and without it, the league is left struggling to keep the attention of fans. The Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, is in full panic mode, desperately trying to figure out how to restore its dwindling reputation as the dust settles from this year's disappointing series of playoffs. In order to achieve the same level of success that Clark brought, there are some individuals within the league who are suggesting that the league might even need to change its entire strategy. This includes everything from the way it markets its players to the kinds of partnerships and sponsorships that it prioritizes. On the other hand, the issue is more complex than the loss of a single player. The Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, discovered a flaw in their system when they relied on a single star player like Caitlin Clark. This flaw was that the system did not fully develop and promote other players to take on that mantle. As a result of Clark's departure, the league's most glaring shortcomings have become more apparent. The Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, has been struggling for years to construct a powerful and marketable brand that revolves around its players, and now they are paying the price for it. The question of who will fill in for Clark in the WNBA's absence is currently one of the most significant challenges that the league is currently facing. The efforts of the league to recover from this setback are likely to be met with a difficult uphill battle because there is not a strong pipeline of players ready to capture the attention of fans awaiting them. Not only is it important to fill arenas, but it is also important to make fans care once more. In order to accomplish this, there must be a large pool of talent that is capable of generating the same level of excitement and engagement that Clark did. During Clark's time in the Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, many people are curious as to why the league did not bring other stars to the same level of prominence as Clark did. Where was the money that was supposed to be given to the league's veterans or rising stars to promote them? It was too narrow of a focus, and now the Women's National Basketball Association is scrambling to figure out how to ensure that they are not dependent on a single player for success. Caitlin Clark is a talent that has been passed down from generation to generation, and the league is already looking to the future. However, the question that remains is how to replace her. There is a choice that needs to be made by the Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA. Should they continue to rely on the hope that another player with Clark's draw will emerge, or should they fundamentally change the way that they promote the NBA? The latter is the more likely scenario, given that the league cannot afford to make the same mistakes that it has made in the past. Moving forward, it is abundantly clear that the Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, needs to concentrate on developing a growth strategy that is more sustainable. In order to accomplish this, it is necessary to make investments in the development of younger players, to amplify the voices of established stars, and, most importantly, to create an environment that is more inclusive, in which players from many different teams and backgrounds are promoted in an equal manner. The Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, has the opportunity to rebuild and reshape its brand, but in order to do so, it will require a shift in thinking from what has formerly been done. Caitlin Clark's passing has made one thing abundantly clear. The Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, can no longer afford to place all of its hopes on a single star player. How well they are able to distribute the attention across multiple players, how well they are able to build long-lasting relationships with fans, and how well they are able to create compelling stories that resonate beyond the court will determine the future of the league. This is a moment of reckoning for the Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, and it is a moment that will determine the long-term trajectory of the league. The Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, has a choice to make. Either they can continue down the path they've been on, or they can take this as an opportunity to evolve. You have the option of either lamenting the loss of Caitlin Clark and concentrating on the empty seats and the disastrous ratings, or you can choose to rebuild, becoming more intelligent and powerful, with a primary emphasis on cultivating new stars and expanding their reach. In light of the fact that the WNBA's future is at stake, the time to take action is now. As the Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, struggles to come to terms with the repercussions of Caitlin Clark's departure, it is abundantly clear that they will be remorseful for the way in which they handled the situation for a considerable amount of time to come. What are your thoughts on this situation? Let me know down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.